The needle went into my thigh while I was sleeping. I woke to the sharp pain and my sister Brianna's face hovering over me in the darkness, her hand pressing down on the plunger of a syringe. "Bri," I mumbled, still groggy. "What are you?" "Should go back to sleep, Kira," she whispered, pulling the needle out. "Just your vitamin B12. Remember? Mom said you need the injections." I didn't remember. We'd never done injections before. But Brianna was pre-med at Columbia, 21 years old and brilliant. If she said Mom had ordered vitamin shots, who was I to question it? I was just the 16-year-old high school student who still needed help with chemistry homework. "It hurts," I complained, rubbing the injection site. "You're such a baby," she said, capping the syringe. "Go back to sleep. You'll feel energized in the morning." But I didn't feel energized. I woke up nauseous, shaking, drenched in sweat. My head was pounding and the room wouldn't stop spinning. I stumbled to the bathroom and barely made it before throwing up. "You're probably getting the flu," Brianna said at breakfast, watching me push food around my plate. "You should stay home." "Can't. I have my AP history presentation." I forced down some orange juice, hoping the sugar would help. It did a little. The shaking eased. "Well, if you insist on going." Brianna packed my lunch herself, something she never did. "Here. Made your favorite, turkey sandwich, apple slices, and I threw in some candy. For energy." I should have questioned why my pre-med sister was suddenly pushing sugar on me. Should have wondered about the midnight injection. Should have noticed the way she watched me gather my things, like she was waiting for something. But I trusted her. She was Brianna, my brilliant older sister who'd gotten into Columbia at 16, who was going to be a doctor, who'd helped raise me after Dad left. Why would I question her? First period was fine. I felt better after eating the candy she'd packed. Second period, the shaking came back. By third period, I was sweating through my shirt. Fourth period, AP history. I could barely stand to give my presentation. "Kira, are you all right?" Ms. Martinez asked as I swayed at the front of the class. The room tilted. My legs gave out. The last thing I remember was my head hitting the floor and someone screaming. I don't remember the seizure. I don't remember Emma Chin shouting that I was convulsing or Ms. Martinez ordering everyone back while calling 911. I don't remember her noticing the fresh puncture wound on my thigh when my skirt rode up during the convulsions. What I do remember is waking up in the hospital, feeling like I'd been hit by a truck, with voices arguing nearby. "She must have taken the wrong medication," Brianna was crying. "I don't know how she got into my supplies. I'm so careful." "Miss Chin," an unfamiliar voice said sternly. "Your sister isn't diabetic. Why would she take insulin?" "I don't know. Maybe she thought it was something else. She's been stressed about school. Maybe she was trying to." "Kira's awake," another voice interrupted. My mother's face appeared above me, tear-streaked and terrified. "Oh baby, what happened? What did you take?" "I didn't take anything," I croaked. My throat was raw from the breathing tube they'd removed. "Brianna gave me a shot. Said it was B12. The room went silent. I saw Brianna's face change, the mask of concern slipping for just a second to show something darker underneath. "She's confused," Brianna said quickly. "The hypoglycemia can cause false memories. She must have." "I remember," I insisted. "Last night, you came into my room. You injected me with something." Dr. Rashid, the emergency physician, stepped forward. "Kira, this is important. Your blood sugar was 23 when you arrived. That's incompatible with life. You had enough insulin in your system to put a non-diabetic into a fatal coma. Are you certain someone injected you?" "Yes. Brianna did it. She said Mom told her to give me vitamin B12 shots." All eyes turned to my mother. "I never said any such thing," Mom said slowly. "Brianna, what is she talking about? She's confused." Brianna started, but Dr. Rashid cut her off. "Ms. Martinez, your teacher, reported seeing a fresh injection site on your thigh. The paramedics confirmed it. Someone definitely injected you with insulin within the last 12 hours. I need to speak with the police," I said, looking directly at my sister. "Right now." Detective James Park arrived within an hour. He took my statement privately, then spoke with the doctors. What emerged over the next few hours destroyed our family. The toxicology report was damning. I'd been injected with approximately 100 units of rapid-acting insulin, enough to kill most non-diabetics. Only the candy Brianna had packed, ironic considering, and my teacher's quick response had saved my life. "We need to search your room," Detective Park told Brianna. "With your consent, of course." Or we can get a warrant." "This is ridiculous," Brianna protested. "I would never hurt Kira." But she agreed to the search. Maybe she thought she'd hidden the evidence well enough. Maybe she was arrogant enough to believe her pre-med knowledge would protect her. They found the insulin vials in her mini-fridge, labeled as belonging to a study partner who was diabetic. They found multiple syringes. They found research on her laptop, searches like insulin overdose non-diabetic, how long before hypoglycemic coma, and most damning, life insurance payout minor beneficiary. Life insurance? Mom gasped when Detective Park revealed this. What life insurance? That's when we learned about the policy. Brianna had taken out a $500,000 life insurance policy on me 6 months ago, forging Mom's signature. She was the sole beneficiary. As my adult sister, she'd claimed to be my legal guardian while Mom was traveling for work. "But I work from home," Mom said, stunned. "I haven't traveled in years." The deeper they dug, the worse it got. Brianna had been planning this for months. She'd befriended diabetic students to learn about insulin management. She'd volunteered at diabetes camps to understand dosing. She'd even written a paper on hypoglycemic comas for her physiology class. "Your sister," Detective Park told me gently, "has been researching how to kill you in a way that would look accidental. Insulin overdose in a non-diabetic can be mistaken for other conditions if not caught quickly. She was counting on you dying before anyone tested for it." But Brianna had made critical errors. She'd underestimated how quickly I'd seek help when feeling sick. She'd overestimated how much insulin it would take. 100 units would kill a horse, as the doctors said, but I'd gotten treatment just in time. Most importantly, she'd left the injection site visible, and Ms. Martinez had been observant enough to notice and report it. "Why?" I asked Brianna when they arrested her. "I'm your sister. Why would you want me dead?" She looked at me with those cold, calculating eyes I'd never noticed before. "Do you know how expensive medical school is? Do you know how much debt I'm in? You were going to waste Mom's money on some useless liberal arts degree while I'm trying to become a doctor. That insurance payout would have covered everything. So you tried to murder me for tuition money?" "I tried to redistribute resources efficiently," she said, like I was a line item on a budget rather than her sister. "You would have just slipped away. Painless. I calculated the exact dose for your weight." "You calculated wrong," Detective Park said as they led her away. "And now you're going to prison instead of medical school." The trial revealed even more horror. Brianna had been poisoning me in small doses for weeks, testing my body's response to blood sugar drops. The energy drinks she'd been making me, her sudden interest in cooking for me, all designed to establish a pattern of hypoglycemic episodes that would make the final overdose look like a tragic accident. She'd even planted mentions of me feeling faint and having dizzy spells in texts to friends, creating a false medical history. If I'd died, she would have played the grieving sister who'd tried so hard to help with my undiagnosed condition. The defendant didn't just try to kill her sister, the prosecutor stated. She used her medical knowledge to plan the perfect murder. She turned her education into a weapon and her sister's trust into a vulnerability. The jury found her guilty of attempted murder, insurance fraud, and forgery. The judge sentenced her to 30 years, noting the exceptional premeditation and breach of familial trust. Her medical career was over before it began. "You were supposed to be a healer," the judge said during sentencing. "Instead, you used your knowledge to try to commit the ultimate harm. You violated not just the law, but the most fundamental principles of both family and medicine." I survived, but with lasting damage. My pancreas, shocked by the massive insulin overdose, doesn't function quite right anymore. I have to monitor my blood sugar, carefully balancing my diet to avoid the hypoglycemic episodes that send me into panic attacks. The irony isn't lost on me. Brianna tried to kill me with diabetes medication, and now I live like a diabetic. Mom hasn't recovered from the betrayal. She'd been so proud of Brianna, had sacrificed so much to pay for her education. To learn that her brilliant daughter had seen me as nothing more than a financial obstacle, it broke something in her that may never heal. I still wake up sometimes feeling phantom needle pricks in my thigh. I can't stand having anyone near me while I sleep. Medical settings trigger panic attacks. Too many memories of waking up in the ICU, of needles and tests, and my sister crying fake tears. But I'm alive. Alive because Ms. Martinez noticed an injection site. Because paramedics recognized severe hypoglycemia. Because doctors tested for insulin when I insisted on the injection. Because sometimes the truth is written in your blood chemistry, impossible to deny. Brianna thought her medical knowledge made her the perfect killer. She thought she could dose me like a lab experiment, that my death would be just another data point in her carefully calculated plan. She thought wrong. The insulin she injected me with, enough to kill a horse, the doctors said, became the evidence that sent her to prison. Every unit measured in my blood, every search on her laptop, every syringe in her room told the story of a sister who'd traded her humanity for tuition money. She must have taken the wrong medication, she'd cried, hiding the syringe. But there was no wrong medication. There was only a pre-med student who'd calculated the value of my life at $500,000 and decided that was worth more than a sister. The hospital's toxicology report revealed the truth in precise measurements. The injection site on my thigh bore witness. And somewhere in a prison cell, my brilliant sister has 30 years to reconsider her calculations. I was worth more alive than dead. She just couldn't see it through the dollar signs.